Hello, my dear folks, dear friends, ladies and gentlemen, dear fellow Americans. Welcome back to the show. Welcome to the shutdown. No, welcome to talk about the shutdown. It is such a sad moment. Even my guest Ken is wearing black in mourning of it.
Yeah.
It's such a shame because the world is watching us.
That's right.
Right. So now, we were talking about the shutdown, and we were at a point. We tried to flash back and see if we could have done it differently. There had been moments that we had probably the chance of having done in a different way. Talking about the first, that are on the right-hand side, Republican side, should they just let it prevent it, in order to prevent the shutdown, let it go for time being, knowing that they will come back October the 17th or November, no later than the beginning of November, to talk about the debt shielding issue. Then that's the time they can reissue the whole thing and to put the pressure on it to make whatever they want to make. Right? Okay, now let's shift the focus to the left-hand side to find out, did Democrat on the left-hand side do their right thing by insisting to it, right? On the other hand, they gave exemptions to
Yes.
to the unions, to
Right,
all kinds of
themselves.
unions, all kinds of unions.
Yes,
right?
and all kind of unions.
That gave
and large business.
that offered the right-hand side people an opportunity or a stock
Right.
to hold on to find it why. So should they let the last moment forget the exemptions?
See, I just
Okay, if they chose to do so, should we see a different result?
well, I think those exemptions are essentially unfair. I don't believe in the word fair because it's subjective, but they're not. It's not an even playing field for us to either benefit or suffer from government decisions. And I think if say the Republicans.
And by the way, we
yeah.
don't even know much about that part.
No, we don't.
Because that part has never been promoted.
Right.
Every time you ask them about the Obamacare, first thing they say, they prevent people or denying you because of previous existing conditions.
Right.
And that's the stronger point
Yeah.
that I know already. But as behind it, there is an exemption. That part I didn't know.
Yeah.
And I didn't know it until yesterday.
Well, as you do know, I'm a man of pre-existing
Because
condition.
you're talking about 17,000 pages of a document.
Right.
Nobody knows the whole thing.
Nobody.
All right.
Nobody.
It
Yeah.
is from your mouth to my ear, and to my mouth, from my mouth to his ear,
yeah.
or your stuff like that. So you have to talk about the same thing. That's the true way, right?
See, I think it would have been very easy to avoid this temporary shutdown if we had segregated the issue of Obamacare from the issue of due September 30th, okay? And if the Democratic side had said, okay, we will allow a year exemption for all people in
Everybody.
that area, for everybody in that area.
Or they say forget union exemptions.
Right.
All right,
Right.
and let's bring it back to page number 1.
Right.
Right. No revision, no change, no fixing here, there, no change,
Yeah.
the same thing.
Yeah.
Right. Quote unquote, Obama says this morning in the news that, no salary for 2 or 3 weeks for those people, meaning that no customers to those grocery stores.
Right.
And no customers at the grocery stores for 2 or 3 weeks next 2 or 3 weeks down the road, meaning that hurts the economy. He was right.
Now, may I share as a CPA
Yeah.
a financial observation? I think it's all of our responsibility as we go through day to day, year to year in our lives to try to accumulate enough funds that get us through bumpy roads in life.
All right.
This is a bumpy road in life, and for those that are prepared, they will be able to handle the bump in a rather smooth manner, and they will get their retroactive pay. If you actually get down to you have no money and you're living a paycheck to paycheck, then it's a problem. And then in this wonderful society, most of us are blessed with great friends that will help us get through bumps. This bump will not last more than 2 or 3 weeks.
For the long run, you're talking about the majority. Of course, people might have reserves here and there.
Yeah.
Right. But fact is, there are people who live check to check.
Yes.
There are people who can even not afford 2 days of shutting down themselves.
That's true.
Right.
And
what about them?
Well, the
And
for
it's
example,
too early
non-federal-
for
yeah.
them to touch social security. I mean,
Right.
too late for them to touch social security,
Right.
and too early for them to activate their retirement funds.
Yeah.
And then for 2 days, 3 days shut down. What are they supposed to do?
Well, as a CPA, I was honored to serve many wonderful nonprofit organizations
Mm-hmm.
that serve the poor very well, serve
Yes.
them well.
Sure.
And so we have to ask for help. So we have to go to those places and say, please help me. And I can assure you that they're adequately funded to help the people
All right.
in these short times of need.
Sure. All right, let's go back to the second question, which is that on the left-hand side, why wouldn't Democrat just ban in or also, if not acquiescing from the situation, but compromise some kind to let everybody a chance to prevent a shutdown from happening, right? So on their side, they are responsible too. Do you think so?
Yes. And I think it comes down to stubborn ideology. Rather than realizing you're supposed to serve the people and make it happen.
Okay, my third question.
Yes, sir.
Now, when you run a country with two parties, none of which thinks about the benefit of you, you feel sad, or are you celebrating?
See, this is where I said we've lost the concept of a civil servant. It's self-servants in there.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
don't
yeah,
even
yeah.
have the same retirement programs we have. They have all the special
Yeah,
things.
that's why you wear black to mourn it.
Right, because we should be civil servants. They should. By the way, I come from a deep belief in what I call the soul of America. To me, the soul of America is the Declaration of Independence, the Constitution, and the Bill of Rights. Now we're 200 and some years later, and people are saying, no, that doesn't apply anymore. In my humble opinion, it applies to me, and I'm committed to that. So the soul of America must, in my opinion, I want it maintained. I don't want to change to another system. If the majority do it, then I have to live with it.
Understanding that we are a nation founded on the sacrifice of our founding fathers.
Yes, sir. Thank you for saying that.
Right? George Washington had the chance to be a king forever.
Absolutely.
All right?
Beautiful
He
example.
sacrificed that.
He
right?
did.
All right. Abraham Lincoln had the chance not to emancipate those slaveries.
Sure. He could have gone through his...
Right.
Yeah, right.
Nathan Hale should not say, I have but one life to die for my country.
Yes.
Sort of like that.
And I love him. Yes.
Yeah. And then altogether, we came to a point saying that I will not bend over because this is my right. And you say the same, everybody says the same thing. And then altogether, watch the government shut down. Looks like a demolition to me.
Let me share one concept that I'm aware, I believe that the federal government is the #1 employer of people in this country.
That's my theory.
On my, well, they've stated that.
Yeah.
Now, my reaction to that is that's a disaster because we weren't forming a government to employ everybody. We're supposed to be, as originally conceived,
But they're not doing their job now.
and they're not doing their job. I'm all for volunteer legislators, and where you don't go there to just get rich, and they're doing that. They're,
Of course,
they're very
yeah.
wealthy,
All right.
and so I'd like to change. You go back to the basics. Is basically what we're talking
All
about.
right, okay. Back to my audiences. Today, I'm once again getting excited about the shutting down of government. And once again, I'm flattered to have my good friends, Ken Hemming, come here to share his thoughts with me, with you, with everybody. And like he says, I quote unquote himself, saying that he takes a stand of American people, average American people. Me too. I'm not representing any of people on the right, on the left. I'm just people in the middle. I'm the one
right.
caught in the middle.
We are.
Caught in the middle. All right. Anyway, let's take a very short moment now. When we come back, we'll continue. We'll find out what is wrong with the partisan line and what shall we do? What can we do with it? So stay with us.